Chromebooks are outselling Macs? How's it going, everybody? This is Dave LeClaire with MUO Tech Bytes, and it is time to take a look at the biggest tech news stories that have occurred over the recent period of time, aka over the last couple of days. So why don't we kick back, relax, and let's talk about some news. As we inch closer to the release of iOS 14.5, we're getting a slow drip feed of information about what Apple plans to bring to the OS thanks to the beta. And now we have learned that Apple is planning to bring over 200 new or changed emoji to the operating system. One of the more interesting emoji is the AirPods Max. If you have spent the hefty sum of money required to pick up these Apple headphones, you can actually change the headphone emoji to resemble the AirPod Max instead of a generic pair of headphones. The syringe has also received a slight tweak. It looks a little bit more generic and it doesn't show blood inside anymore, so now you can tell all your friends whether or not you got the COVID-19 vaccine through an emoji. Of course, as is always the case with emoji updates, there's a lot more inclusion, such as a woman with a beard as an option for an emoji and more skin tones. Some other new emojis that'll help you spice up your messaging game is the heart on fire, the mending heart, the exhaling face in the clouds, the spiral eyes, and plenty more. So if you are an emoji fiend and you love expressing yourself through those cute little widgets, now you'll have more options to choose from once iOS 14.5 rolls around, which we don't know exactly when that is yet. Next, we have a story that's sure to make everybody quite happy, and that is the fact that LastPass is making free accounts a lot less useful than they were previously. Starting in March, free users of LastPass will only be able to use their account on one device. So if you currently have your account on your computer, your laptop, and your phone, you're gonna have to pick one of those, or you're gonna have to pony up for a premium account. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this might not sound so bad, but if you think about it, how many people out there really only use one device? Most people have at least a phone and a computer. Some people have multiple computers between a personal computer and a work computer, a phone and a tablet, maybe even multiple phones. I mean, some people could have 6 or 7 different devices that they're using LastPass on. Only having it limited to one device makes the service almost useless if you're going to be trying to use the free version. Now, it's not as terrible as it sounds, because if you are only using multiple phones or multiple computers, you will be able to keep using LastPass free. Basically what it is it's limiting you to one device type, not one device. So if you have 4 different cell phones and they all have LastPass, you won't have a problem. 4 different computers, you won't have a problem. But the fact of the matter is, most people are going to switch back and forth between the two, which means you may want to seek out a LastPass alternative if that is you, or spend the money to get a premium account. Now, if you are loyal to LastPass and you want to stick with the service, the company is offering 25% off an annual subscription, so you can sign up, lock in for a year for a little bit less money than it would normally be. I assume the company is kind of doing this as a way to smooth things over with the users and at least say, hey, if you're willing to give us some money, we're willing to give you a little bit of a discount. After all, LastPass does need to make money. They are a business, and giving everybody unlimited access to all the features for free, it's not really a good way to generate a lot of revenue, so I totally get it. But if you're a free LastPass user and you don't want to spend money, you might want to seek out another password manager. There are plenty out there to choose from, so keep that in mind. So here's some statistics that might actually shock you, but Chromebooks have outsold Macs in 2020. Google's OS is actually more popular in terms of sales than Apple's OS right now, which is absolutely insane. Not only that, but Chromebooks have actually taken a chunk out of Windows market share. The big king of computer OSs has seen a decrease for the first time in a while, with Chrome OS actually on the climb. This all comes from a report and analysis done by GeekWire, thanks to data provided by IDC. And basically what they found is that from 2019 to 2020, Chrome OS saw a huge increase, while Mac OS saw a small increase and Windows saw a slight decrease. Here's a quick breakdown of the numbers. Make sure to check the link in the description for a full breakdown that goes into more detail on the MUO article, but let me just give you a quick rundown. So when you look at the trends from 2019 to 2020, Windows dropped from 85.4% of the market share in 2019 to 80.5% in 2020. Macs did see some growth, going from 6.7% in 2019 to 7.5% in 2020. But the biggest growth came to Chrome OS, which went from 6.4% market share in 2019 to an impressive 10.8% in 2020. Now, the biggest takeaways here is the huge incline in terms of Chrome OS and the decline for Windows, but also the fact that Chrome OS has actually passed Mac for market share, at least in terms of sales. Obviously, Macs have been out there for longer, so total is different, but for actual sales in 2020, Chrome OS is coming for Apple. So that brings us to the big question here. What do you think about Chrome OS? Do you use Chrome OS currently? Let us know in the comments what you think about Chrome OS and sound off. If there's one thing we don't say very often about video game companies, it's that they're being generous with their pricing. But that's exactly what's happening with Microsoft's latest announcement, as the company has announced an Xbox wireless headset, and it's only $100. So rather than gouging customers and charging $200 or $300, which the company probably could do if you really think about it, they're coming out with quite a reasonably priced headset. Now, not only is this headset designed to work with the Xbox Series X and Series S, but it'll actually connect with your phone and other devices, so it can actually serve as your primary headphone. That's quite cool when you consider that it has spatial audio and all the other features that make it good for games, so you can hear footsteps coming from behind you and to the side if you're playing a shooter, for example. Now, as mentioned, the headset is $100, and it's set to launch on March 16th of this year, so you won't have to wait very long to try one of these out. So if you're interested, you can head over to Microsoft's website and drop in a pre-order. I have a feeling these are gonna probably sell out. Normally, I'm not a big fan of pre-ordering, but if you really want one of these, seeing as how popular the Series X and S is, you may want to pre-order it just because you may have a hard time finding one on launch day. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of MUO Tech Bytes in the books. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching this episode with me. I hope you found it informative. I hope you learned something about the tech news today. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to do all that other social media stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.